Good afternoon, Lumberjack fans. Happy Thursday to you. It is January 8th, and we're getting ready to play Warroad in an afternoon matinee. This is the JV out on the rink. I think I'll give you the little bit better. You know what? Let's do the side-by-sides. Here's actually bench cam, or blue line cam, whatever you want to call it. But let's go like that for you. Warroad should be out here any minute. We got 8 minutes on the warm-up clock. We are just about on time for our 4 o'clock start. Warroad is in the building. I see Coach Mike poking his head over there in the corner of the bench. But we're about ready to go. The referees are here. And this should be a good one. The varsity beat Warroad up in Warroad in one heck of a match about a month or so ago. And here comes the Warriors. The JV did lose up in Warroad. They're hoping to put on a little bit better show today, but Warroad's here in their in their away black trimmed in gold and white. Black helmets, black socks, black jerseys. There's head trimmed in gold. Jacks are in their home whites here. White socks, white jerseys, navy helmets, and navy lettering. So let's see, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, and 2 goalies. So 5, 10, looks like 11 skaters. Let me just double check that for you. 3, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like 13 skaters and 2 goalies. We had one show up here late. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the Jacks are sitting at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 2 goalies, I think. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 13 skaters, 2 goalies. They're very similar. I know I always say it's like herding cats, but when they're all skating around pretty fast, a little bit on the tricky side. So 6:48 to go here in the warm-up clock. Looks like we are going to have a couple of the varsity girls down with the JV here to fill in some injury spots. We're still sitting a few players short. O'Brien's out with an upper body injury. Church, I believe, is out with body injury. Stitsworth is out with an upper body injury. And I think we even have one more. So looks like George and Longberg down with the JV in the first period here. I'm going to sit in my hot chalk. It's a little bit chilly in here today. It's beautiful outside. Get a view of Warroad here for you. A little bit blurry on that camera. Let's try the other one. Gosh darn, we're not supposed to be having the Wi-Fi issues today here, everybody. Why are we frozen? All right. Well, it's supposed to be looking pretty good on this end. Well, we're going to do our best to get this broadcast out to you. with whatever works. That one's working pretty good. That one's working pretty good. Well, that one's a little glitchy. That's a glitch there. Definition of a glitch. .343 to go here. Get over some view of the Jacks here. View of the Jacks here. Scott, if you're listening, I know you're running a little behind to get up here for the start of the varsity game, but I'm guessing you're listening anyway. Even as you're driving, you probably don't want to be watching. But hopefully it's coming through loud and clear. 2 minutes to go. Looking forward to a fun weekend next weekend. If you haven't heard, we've got the 2-on-8 showcase. So we've got some really good hockey teams coming to town. Next weekend's for the girls. This weekend's for the boys. But next weekend, there's going to be some really good varsity games over at the Sanford Center. JV is going to be playing here at the BCA. But the varsity is going to be over at the Sanford Center. That should be fun. We're going to set up the broadcast in there for the first time. Hopefully that gets us some decent Wi-Fi. Bench camera / blue line. Wish we had instant replay on that. That'd be pretty fun, wouldn't it? And we're under a minute now, 46 seconds to go. Girls get the pucks all picked up. We'll get this thing underway. Again, looking forward to a great game, both now and for the varsity at 6. Second game without Bailey Roop. Bailey, if you're watching, good luck up north there in Quebec at the Worlds. Looking forward to watching that one on TV. I think it's on the NHL Network. All right, it's about buzzer time here. 4 seconds to go. Somebody is nice enough to turn the heaters on out here now, so it's warming up a little bit. We are at the First National Bank rink here at the BCA. The concession stand is open. I went and got myself a hot chocolate. They do have good hot chocolate here. Happy New Year to everybody if you haven't been able to watch. It is only January 8th. Doesn't feel like January 8th outside. I think it's like about 34 degrees. I'll take it, though. streets are actually melting off and doing pretty good. All right, both teams at their respective benches. Well, there we go. I guess we can go that way. So it looks like Everhart in the net to start. Fuller, Carlson, Grand are your forwards. Frank and Melcher on defense. Ref checks with everybody. Puck's down. That one's controlled by the Jacks. Melcher's going to try and throw it up ice. That will be controlled by Warroad then. Oh, that's going to be in the way of this camera, so we're going to switch. Bear with me here. Shot, that one goes on net for the Jacks. Let me get this right for you. Last minute checks here. And that one's going to be up ice. And that's going to be icing on Warroad. So 37 seconds in here, the Jacks are going to switch it up. Out comes Knutson, Larson, and Pemberton. Winkler and Runnigan over there in defense. That one's kept in by Larson. She throws it behind the net. Pemberton's going to go pick it up on the sidewall here. Loses it to Warroad. That should also be icing again. So first couple of minutes here, Warroad's dumped the puck a couple of times. I'm going to try and get this. There we go. So face off to the right of the Warrior goalie. Pemberton, Larson, and Knutson still. Puck goes into the corner. Warriors are going to throw it on here and break out, trying to come through center. Trying to get around Winkler. Nice job by Winkler. They center. That goes out to the point. And now around the near wall here, Larson gives it a whack. Picked up now by Runnigan. She's going to throw it over to Knutson. Just goes off her stick. Shot. Saved by Everhart. And that one's going to come out to center. Not enough on that to get icing. So that's going to be picked up by the Warriors. And here they come. Wongberg, George, and Novak now are your forwards. Here come the Warriors through center. A couple of quick passes. Looking to get around Runnigan and Winkler. They're going wide left here. Shot. That one didn't miss by too much. Now centering. Novak hits Wongberg. Wongberg trying to stretch out George. That went off her stick, so icing's waved off. George tried to get it up, or Wongberg tried to get it up to George. Now stolen away by Warroad. Into the top circle. Nice job by Frank to knock it off his stick. Frank's going to pick it up. Got George with her. And that one's going to be played by Warroad here on the near wall. And that one, Warroad skates back to the far corner. Jacks switch it up again. They throw it up ice. And that's going to be the third icing on Warroad. So this one's going to come to the left of the Warroad goalie. Carlson, Fuller, Grand, Melcher, and Frank. Comes back to Melcher. Melcher tries to go over to Frank. And that one missed. Frank tries to dish it up somehow to Fuller. That didn't work. She now picks it up again. Still sees a little green space. And she's going to throw it into the near corner here. Fuller and Grand after it. Played out to Melcher. She gives it a whack. Tries to pinch, now goes in front of the net for the Warroad Warriors. And they're going to stretch the pass over to the far wall. Bit of a whiff. Right out front on Everhart, goes just wide. Hits Fuller in the skate, not behind the net. Fuller tries to get it out of the zone. Does. Going to be picked up by Grand. Fuller's off. He's on. Right in front of us here, but it's going to be picked up by Warroad. Now played by Winkler and Grand. Grand tries to poke it forward. Played by Knutson. Warriors looking to get a shot off here. Nice job by Runnigan to throw her deep. Still looking. Now they go back out to the point. Shot. And that one went over the top of Everhart, then off the crossbar and down. And the Warriors score first. To make it 1-0. Here come the Jacks trying to get some pressure on. Warroad coming back through center. Top of the slot. Nice back check by Wongberg. Now it's off the wall to Novak. She tries to get out of the zone and does. Warroad attacking. Played by Winkler. Puck still loose. Winkler trying to get her hands on it. Saved by Everhart. No, they try to center. Everhart throws it up ice to George. George 1-on-2, trying to sneak by the D. Gets poked back through center where Warroad's going to pick it up. And George comes away with it. Has Grand on the far wall. No call on the something to George. Runnigan's going to go pick it up, throw it off the wall, but it's stolen away by the Warriors. Winkler tries to play it around to Fuller. That gets caught up in the skates of the Warriors. Fuller hits Carlson. Carlson, if she can get a step, she's loose. Getting hooked like crazy with no call. Not sure how they don't call that, but I'm a biased commentator. And that one goes back to Melcher. She gets it out to center. They throw it on net. Everhart plays it to the corner. Now picked up by Frank. She does the old spinorama. Now plays it over to Fuller. Fuller's going to drive the zone, throw it into the corner. Melcher and Pemberton on defense now, with Pemberton hanging back as Frank's attacking. Cross ice, trying to get by Melcher. Nice job. Everhart puts the mid on it, throws it to the corner. Out front again, save Everhart. Now Knutson with it, driving wide on the backhand. She throws it in deep. And then it goes to go get it. This one's going to come back to Frank. Frank picks it up, shoot low, out front. Jack's trying to hack at it. Loose, still out front. This one kept in by Frank. Comes out to Pemberton. Here comes Warroad. Stretching it over wide. Shot. Saved by Everhart. And she's got it underneath the big pads. Face off to the left of Everhart here. Warroad has it behind the Jack net here, popping it out front. Oh, that one hit a leg. Shot went over, tipped over the top of Everhart. Then he'll go behind. Novak's going to try and pick it up and play it forward. Warroad to pick it up again. She throws it up ice if George can get there. And I think that's going to be icing, and it is. So that one's going to come all the way back to the left of Everhart. And Fuller, Grand, Winkler, and Runnigan are your forwards and defense. This one goes to Carlson. Now Winkler picks it up. Carlson has it. She tries to dish to Fuller. That just went between her legs. Warroad now stretch it over to the backhand shot. That got blocked by Grand, it looked like. Warroad has it up front. Shot. Save Everhart. Jersey coming up big here to start. On the backhand they go. Warroad now coming through center with some speed. Driving for the slot. Tries to get around running, and that gets denied. And the Jacks will throw it up through center. Knutson, Pemberton, Grand are your forwards. That one goes off a leg. Try to get it out. Larson with a little jump. Tries to make a move. Gets denied. Now she's making a move. And here comes Warroad again with some speed. Kind of lost the handle at the blue line. They tried to center. Now it's picked up by Winkler behind the net. She'll wrap it around over there to Knutson, who's got Larson streaking through center. And they're going to throw it up where it'll be picked up by the Warriors. Driving the net. Shot. Save Everhart. And it went in. Thought she had it in the glove. But it just popped out and trickled into the net, so that's going to make it 2-0 for the Warriors. So George, Wongberg, Novak. George doing the old spinorama. Sorry. Comes across the Warroad. You know, I can fix some of that. A little bit up, further out. Shot. Saved by Everhart. She throws it up into the net. Longberg, George, Novak, Frank, Melcher, it looks like. Melcher throws it up ice. I don't think that's going to make icing. That's waved off. Warroad stretches out through center. That's going to be picked up by Frank. Warroad looking to get a shot off. That one comes out. That's blocked by Frank. Now around to Novak. She gets it out of the zone. Carlson in a hurry here. She's in alone. Warroad wraps it around the wall. Played by Frank. Over to Carlson with a nice catch of that pass. Jacks throw it in deep again. And that one's going to be picked up by Runnigan. Run again, throws it over to Grand. Grand hits Fuller. Fuller tries to make the move. Goes to the back wall. Fuller steals behind the net. Tries to center to Grand. Just hit the side of the net. And here comes Warroad with some speed. Nice job by Runnigan. This one's going to now come back to Winkler. She throws it up ice. Corralled by Warroad. That one's played by Everhart. She says, give me a whistle. Sorry on the oversteer there in the camera. Frank and Melcher come out. Looks like Larson, Pemberton, and Knutson. Shot. Everhart gets the stick on it. Good save there. 4:15 to go here in the first. Jacks get it out to center. Knutson was 1-on-4 there. And now the Jacks throw it all the way into the defensive zone for the Warriors. Picked up by Wongberg. Wongberg digs to the corner, does the old spin-around out to George. George shoots and scores! The Jacks get one back. Put it on the board. Pretty sure that's going to be George from Wongberg and Larson as the Jacks make it 2-1. Warriors behind their own net. George blew a tire in the corner. She's okay. And this will be Frank to play it. She's going to slingshot around her own net to Wongberg, who tips it out front. Wongberg tries to get out of the zone. That hits a Warrior. Now it's going to be Frank again. Over to Wongberg. Frank blows the tire back on the back wall. That one's played by Everhart. Shot goes wide right of Everhart. Again by Wongberg. Tries to hit George. George gets a little bit of a Warrior sandwich. She's down in a heap. Saved by Everhart. And that one got just tipped wide right. Melcher's going to wrap it around the wall. Played by Melcher. She hits Novak. That one comes out of the zone. And that's going to be Frank ripping it all the way up the wall. Played by the goalie as it was going on the net. Stretched out. Now going to be played by Runnigan. Over to Fuller. Fuller's going to wrap it in deep. Played by Grand and Carlson here. Warriors with a chance at a 3-on-2 here. They go wide on the backhand. And Everhart says, give me a whistle. With a $1:47 left here in the first. 2-1 your score, so the Jacks come back with one by George to make it 2-1. Face off now to the left of Everhart. Larson to pick it up. She's got a little running room here. She sees some green space. Gets by the D. Into the corner she goes. Pemberton now in the chase. Larson still there. Try to stuff it. It's Knutson. And what a job by Knutson, banging away until the ref blows a whistle. Or wait, that might have, yeah, that was Knutson. Pemberton, Knutson, and Larson still. Puck goes into the corner. Warriors are going to wrap it all the way around. Kept in by Winkler. She lost it towards the net, and that one's got the arm up. That should be icing on the Warriors with $1:12 left here. Changing up the D here. Melcher, Frank, and out comes Carlson, Grand, Fuller. Face off by Carlson, comes back to Fuller, to Frank. That goes into the corner. They throw it up ice. Frank's going to keep it in. Oh, sorry about the oversteer. That one gets by Melcher. Icing's waved off. It's going to go to Frank. Frank's going to rip it around the wall to Fuller. She tries to tip it out. Frank tries to play it up the wall to Fuller. 33 to go here. Warriors on the back end. Lost the handle. Now back to the point. That one goes wide right of Everhart. 20 to go. Everhart plays it. Nice job getting the sticks tied up there, but 21 for Warroad. Comes in with 16.1 to go. Cleans up the garbage. And puts it in the net to make it a 2-goal game again at 3-1. Now back to center we go here. Knutson, Pemberton, Larson with 16 on the clock. Warroad tries to throw it in the offensive zone. That's going to be played by Runnigan. And that's going to do it 2-1. So quick 2-minute intermission in for you. Get the bench for you. You believe it, all of a sudden the Wi-Fi is looking great in here. Wish it would always stay that way. Now it's gone back. Warroad looks ready. Frank, Melcher, Carlson, Fuller, Grand here. This one goes back to Melcher. Going to be played in on net. And Everhart's just going to hold it. So face off to the right of Everhart. Still going to be Carlson on the draw. That one goes to the back wall. Carlson will grab it for herself. Fuller trying to get it around the D. Up by Frank. Grand tries to get somewhere with it. That goes back into the far corner. That one goes off the skate of Melcher. Grand's going to be the first one there with it. She tries to hit Carlson. Hit her in the back of the skate, it looked like. Fuller over to Carlson. They dump and go. So Grand's the first one in there. Now played by Melcher. Warriors attacking here. Going to go behind the net. Played by Winkler. Now over to Larson. Larson hit Pemberton right on the tape. Nice job. Ricochets out to center and then into the Warroad zone here. Warroad coming in strong. Warroad shoots and scores again. That one up high over what looked like the blocker of Everhart to make it 4-1. Everhart, Pemberton, Larson, and Runnigan, Winkler on defense. Warriors behind their own net, throw it up the wall. 3-on-2 here, stretched far wide over by us. And that one's played by Everhart. So it looks like Lossing's taking a period down here with the JV. So this shift is Carlson, Lossing, and Grand. Lossing coming through center. She gains the zone. Shot, that's tipped up high and into the netting. Face off here by Carlson. That one comes out to center. Frank busted a move back, chased by 3 black jerseys. She chips it up ice to Lossing. Now played by the Warriors. Warriors pick it up off the back wall. Spinorama now back behind the net. Played on the backhand here. Quick spinorama. Looking to score. Tried the 5-hole and Everhart got down on it quick. Good job by Everhart there. 4-1's your score. Looks like Novak, Pemberton, Larson now. So when played in the corner, Pemberton's going to pick it up. Over to Larson. Larson sees some green space. She throws it in deep. And wrapped around to the far corner here. Comes out to center where Novak's going to play it on the backhand. She gives it a whack over to Larson. Larson will chuck it into the offensive zone. 13:45 here in the second. Up the wall. That one gets by Melcher, so it's going to be Runnigan to go get it. All the way over to Novak. Novak tries to get it through center. It's going to be picked up by Larson. And then Novak gets it in the offensive zone, but then gets played back out by Warroad to Runnigan. Runnigan trying the 1-on-2 theory. And then she peels off and goes back to defense. Here comes Warroad, 1-on-3. They'll throw it into the offensive zone. Winkler back to go fetch it. That hits the Warroad stick. Lossing tries to play it up the wall. That goes to Everhart. She puts it behind the net. Now up to Grand. Grand over to Lossing. Lossing throws it in deep. She'll run and chase. Fuller back out now. Throw it towards the net. Lossing trips it towards the net. This one's going to be kept in by Winkler. She chucks it in deep, and then it hits a Warrior who stretches it up ice, and that one should get us a whistle. And it does. So face-off coming to the left of the Warrior goalie. Warroad coming along the near wall here, right in front of us, with some speed, trying to get around Frank. Go behind the net, and the Jacks will throw it up ice and just not be able to keep it in as the Warrior defense. Chased by Knutson. Warroad gains the blue line, going to the hash marks. Larson trying to get there all by herself. She's wide, heading to the top of the circle. Couldn't quite get the shot off. She's going to wrap it around the near wall. Frank's going to pinch in. Fuller in there deep, trying to help out. Kept in by Melcher and Lossing. Fuller to pick it up. She's behind the net. She gets pinched off in the corner and behind the net. Stolen away by Carlson to Fuller. Fuller tries the backhand. Got it on net anyway. She had to do a spinorama. Lossing back to Melcher. And now here come the Warriors. Picked up by Frank. Frank trying to find some green space. Gains the blue line, going wide. Played by Winkler. Shot towards the net. Picked up by the Warriors, coming through center. Shot, and Everhart put it in the mitt and lost it. Out in the slot, shot. And it looks like Everhart's got it under the pads. And says, give me that whistle. So we're going to get a face-off to the left of Everhart here. Face-off kind of controlled by the Warriors here. Novak gets it over to Knutson. Knutson should be the first one there, and is. Tries to pull up. Gets tipped off her stick by the Warriors. And the Warriors come through center, 2-on-2. Pull up, nice job there by, looked like Novak. And the Jacks throw it up ice. Novak off on, Knutson off on a change. Warroad make the quick move onto the backhand. Tries to center. I went through a whole bunch of skaters. Warroad throws it to the back wall. Warroad in the corner, pestered by Runnigan. And Winkler, now played by Fuller. She just hit Grandy. And now played back. Stolen away by the Warriors. Quick drop pass shot. Saved by Everhart, point blank. 10 feet in front of her, she got it. 8:57 to go here in the second. Battle over on the far wall here, 2-on-2. Looks like it's down under the wickets of a Warrior. And Frank's going to pick it up. And now the Warriors throw it in deep. So Melcher to get it. Warriors trying to center. That one's going to come to Fuller. She tried to dish it off to Grand. Now Frank with it. Over to Fuller. Fuller chips to Grand. Icing's waved off. Carlson and Fuller off here. Knutson on. Warroad 1-on-1 against Frank. That goes off her shin pads. Frank behind her own net. Wraps it off the wall. And that one's going to come out to center. Offsides on the Warriors. They check it out. Melcher tries to get it over to Knutson. And Novak. Quick dish at the top in the slot, trying to get around Frank. Shallow angle. That one sounds like it might have hit Everhart in the helmet. She wraps it around to Larson. Larson tries to get out of the zone. Just does. Warriors got to pick it up again. Melcher tries to get it out of the zone. Novak can hit Larson. They got some room. Larson will be the first one there in the far corner. Lossing pinches. Larson's now got it, looking for a helper. And that one's going to come out to Winkler. She does the old spinorama. Now tries to throw it over to Lossing. Lossing will throw it in deep. Where Carlson's chasing. Nice job by Carlson there, but then Warroad takes it off her stick. This one to Grand. Grand trying to get through the defense. And here come the Warriors. Throw it up ice. Tipped up high in the air, goes to the back wall. Run again, does the old spinorama. Lossing tries to get a handle on it. Warriors try to throw it up the wall, back to the point. Now it's going to be picked off by Runnigan. She gets her pocket picked. Carlson now behind her own net. To Grand. Grand gets it out to center. And the Warriors try to get in the offensive zone. Stretched out by Lossing. Just bounced over her stick. Hot off the bench. Pemberton over to Carlson, or Larson, and scores! Good for two with 5:03 left. That makes it back in range here, 4-2. So Larson, I believe from Pemberton and Carlson. Now this one comes back to Frank. It's amazing what some passing will do. Pemberton trying to get a handle on it. Here come the Warriors right in the slot. Shot saved by Everhart. Now that one comes back to the point. Larson got a piece of it. This one over to Novak. Novak trying to get around the D. Makes a quick move. Novak shoots. And the Warroad goalie says, give me a whistle. Throws it in the mitt. With 4:31 to go here. 4-2's your score. So Lossing, Fuller, Grand, Melcher, Frank. Warroad's going to pick it up off the draw. Slingshot around their own net. Warroad 2-on-2 here. Trying to get around Frank. They go to center. Went off the stick of Grand. And somehow that one might have got tipped out front. Warroad responds to make it 5-2, so back to a 3-goal game. That one looked like it might have been tipped out front. And then just over the leg pad it went. Lossing, Fuller, Grand again. Warroad trying to get up ice, hit the skates of the ref. Now they come up ice 3-on-2 with Lossing with a nice back check. That one goes off. It looked like Winkler. D stretching it out, top of the circle, now down low. Back out to the point. Shot. Blocked by Fuller. Lossing with some good work behind the net. Grand tries to chip it by the Warriors. Jacks head off on a change. Nice back check by Knutson. Shot. Everard puts the flipper on it. Shallow angle. That one goes off the side of the net. Warroad still looking for somebody to pass to. Runnigan doing a good job behind the net. And now that one comes out to Knutson. Knutson makes a quick move. Looking for Larson. Now she hits her. Nice job to stay on side there by Larson. Penalty-free game here so far. Goals for the Jacks by George and Larson. Here comes Warroad through center. Trying to get around Runnigan. No dice there. Shot. Everard put the flipper on that one. Puck still loose. Now picked up by Fuller. She hits Larson. Larson tries to go wide. Here come the Warriors again. Trying to get around Frank. Centered right out front. Now that one goes to the near corner. Picked up by Carlson. Frank, Grand, and Fuller 3-on-2 if they hurry. Warriors come out from behind their own net. Shot, that one high up over the net. Less than a minute to go here. Larson will wrap it up. I don't think that one's got the mustard. Waved off by the ref. Novak in along the wall. Picked up by Runnigan. She throws it towards the net. Right out front is Larson again. And got the shot off. With 33 to go here. Coach going to stay with Pemberton, Novak, Larson. Novak steals. Novak makes a couple of moves. Jacks good at the line here. The skates. 12 to go. Four to go. That's going to be a wrap on the second period here. So at the end of two, 5-2 is your score in favor of the Warriors. So we're going to get a quick intermission here. Yep, it's that time of day. Time to go get those snacks and beverages. If you hang tight, everybody, we will be back at you here in 12 to 15 minutes. Hang tight, everybody. All right, hockey fans. We're getting ready for the third period here. I better change that on the scoreboard. I think I forgot to put it to the second. Still says it first. My bad. I'll take responsibility. Third period. There we go. 5-2 is your score in favor of the Warriors. Jack's got some work to do here. Wonder what all that noise is. That's the youngsters jumping up and down on the bleachers here. You can see the Warriors ready to come out of their locker room. Jacks are next here. Crowd's starting to pick up here a little bit. Hour away from the varsity game. Referees are back out on the ice. And here come the Warriors. And here come the Jacks. You can just see him walking behind the penalty box there. Looks like Winkler, Pemberton, Larson, Melcher, Runnigan, Byron, Knutson, Carlson, Grand, Fuller, Swanberg, Malkowski, and Baki. So we get the threesome coming down for the third here. Hopefully they can give us a little bit of energy. And then Everhart and Novak are the last ones on the rink here. Actually, the Warriors are gathering at their bench. Jacks, I think, will do the same. Referees, you can see there, ready to go. Looks like Everhart's going to play the third here, get the whole game today. Jacks are going to be going left or right on your TV here. Carlson, Grand, Fuller, Swanberg, and Melcher to start. Puck's down. It's going to be controlled by the Jacks. Fuller goes over to Melcher. Melcher to Swanberg. And then the Jacks dump it in deep. And this one's going to come out to Swanberg. She tries to get it over to Grand. Shot. Everhart puts it in the mitt and says, "Give me a whistle." 22 seconds in here. Face-off going to come to the right of Everhart. This one played by Fuller. She's going to throw it high off the glass. Not sure why. That wasn't her best move. And it looks like the Jacks will change them up here. So Pemberton, Knutson, Larson. Larson with the second goal here. George had the first one. This one is Knutson. Sees Larson, tries to stretch her out. She's on the backhand, tries to play it again. Larson out front. Knutson trying to get in there. Glorious chance, just didn't quite get the puck onto a stick. Everhart's going to play it to the corner. Larson throws it up ice. That'll be picked off by the Warriors at center, who does the old spinorama, chased by Pemberton. And now comes back to the D for the Warriors. They're going to throw it back in deep. And now around to the near corner. Need to zoom out just a smidge there. Warriors still have it. And out front on the backhand, tried to dish it in there, but looks like Swanberg's got the piece of it. Got Larson with her. She tries to get around the D. Larson's going to go peel off and change. This one's going to get stretched out to run again. She lost the handle. Baki will pick it up, gets knocked off her stick. Now that one comes back out to Baki. Baki going wide. She's going to dump it in deep. And now back to run again. Back to run again. Kept in by Malkowski. And now the Jacks pick it up. This is Baki, gets knocked off her stick. Warriors trying to come through center. That's going to get into the Warriors' stick there. They take it behind their own net. Malkowski's got it. Malkowski gains the offensive zone. It's going deep. Tries to center. That hit the skates of a Warrior. And now here they come through center. Trying to get around run again. Shot. That one went off the mask of Everhart. And that one goes up into the netting. Gets us a whistle. Looks like it's going to be to the right of Everhart. Carlson, Fuller, Grand, Swanberg, Melcher. Fuller gets it out of the zone. That one's into the skates of the ref. And now picked up by Carlson. Carlson gains the offensive zone. Swanberg pinches up. That's going to cause Melcher to go back and chase it, and that's going to be icing on the Warriors. Jack's changing them up here. Knutson, Pemberton, and Larson. Swanberg and Melcher on defense. This one's going to be controlled by the Warriors. Here they come through center with some speed. Just getting around Melcher. Nice back check by Larson. Warriors turn to the forehand. Shot. Tipped out front. Picked up by Pemberton. Larson grabs a hold of it. Knutson shoots. Score. Oh, wait. No, it just went wide. I thought it was got tipped into the net there. Sorry about that. Hope I didn't get you too excited. Scott, don't pull in the ditch or nothing. Here they come through center. Saved by Everhart. She says, give me a whistle. That one goes to the back wall. Swanberg tries to play it. Picked up by Malkowski. Malkowski's got Baki. Baki on the backhand. Just got handcuffed. Still has it. Baki tries to thread it through the D. And now comes to the near wall. Malkowski tries to get it back to Swanberg. Here come the Warriors. Toe drag. That one goes just to the right of Everhart. And here comes Baki. Baki with Novak. Baki going wide, trying to get around the D. Well rubbed out by the Warriors here. Here they come, 2-on-2. Good back check by Malkowski. And Warriors taking the far corner. Warriors looking for somebody to pass to. Center it, and that goes all the way to the wall. 11-17 to count here in the third. And behind the net it goes. Picked up by Runnigan. Now kept in by the Warriors. Shot. Saved by Everhart. She locks it down, says, give me a whistle. Jack's going to change him up here. Carlson, Grand, Fuller, Winkler, and Runnigan out there. Good 2-on-2 battle here on the end wall. Warriors coming away with it. This one just hits Grand. Carlson with a jump on it. Now comes back out to center. And that one, Everhart's going to put it in the mitt and say, give me a whistle with 10:33 to go. Up pops Swanberg. And Melcher. This one won by Carlson. Swanberg loses the handle. So Melcher's going to fetch it. Fuller plays it up the wall. Warriors go cross ice. Throw it all the way into the offensive zone. That one's picked up by Swanberg. Shot blocked out front by Melcher. Now that one coming out to Knutson with some speed with Grand. Knutson tries to thread the needle onto the backhand. Knutson lost the handle. And the Warrior goalie says, give me a whistle. 9:47 to go. This will be Pemberton on the draw. She wins it, but it's going to be controlled by the Warriors as they come through the near side here, picked up by Melcher. She does the old spinorama. Now picked up by the Warriors. They chug it back to the D. Shot. That one went just a bit wide. Swanberg's got it. She tries to thread the needle to Larson again. Swanberg goes down in a heap. Cross ice to the Warriors. That one's thrown to the back wall. Larson trying to get a piece of it. Now Swanberg's got it. Swanberg goes down in a spinning heap. And that's offsides on the Jacks here. Got to check it up. Now we're good. Warriors trying to stretch out to center. Runnigan throws the backhand up the wall, tries to get it to Novak, to Malkowski. And the Warriors keep it in the zone. Novak gives it the backhand shovel. Now switching, that one went off Winkler. Everhart gets the save. She throws it up ice to Malkowski, who tries to chip it forward. Played by Runnigan, kept in by the Warriors. Now back to Winkler. Throws it up ice to Malkowski, who hits Bakke. Bakke gonna go 1-on-2, try and split the D. Spins, loses the handle. Now here we come the other way, 7:55 to go. Shot and a goal. What a ripper on the inside of the post for number 21. I think that's her second of the game. Hits the post, rings around the horn to make it 6-2 for the Warriors. Heck of a shot. Beat Jersey on the blocker side. Warriors control the draw. Now this one's going to come wrap around. Picked up by the Warriors, goal scorer number 21. Now Fuller snaps it over to Carlson, hits her in stride. Carlson going wide on the backhand. Carlson trying to drive. It's loose out front. Nice rush by the Jacks. Warriors throw it in deep. Fuller got it up to Grand. Then it gets knocked off her stick. Here come the Warriors the other way again. Toe drag onto the backhand. To Everhart. Puck's down here, controlled by the... Right out front, saved by Everhart. And this one's going to come out to center. Picked up by the Jacks, trying to get out of the zone here. This one's going to wrap around behind the net to the far corner. Picked off by the Warriors, and then it gets played to the back wall. Warriors go D to D. Stolen away by Larson. She gets it into the offensive zone. Pemberton off. Baki on. Here comes the Warriors with some speed. Driving the far wall, now on the backhand. They're going to throw it back in deep. Warriors throw it out to center here. That one comes up ice. And that's going to be icing on the Jacks. Looks like to the left of Everhart. 5:15 to go here. Down 4. Big hill to climb. Could be good to see the Jacks get another one. Saved by Everhart. Right off the draw. So we'll get a do-over here. This is Malkowski on the draw with Baki, Novak, Swanberg. That one just comes out of the offensive zone, but now picked up by Novak. She tried to give it to Baki, but went right to a Warrior. No call on the crunch and munch by Swanberg. Here's Malkowski going wide. Looking to hit Baki, but that one went all the way up, and that's going to be icing on the Jacks. So this is also going to be the left of Everhart. .446 to go here. Carlson, Fuller, Grand, Winkler, and Runnigan, I think. This one's going to come around to Grand. And now gets played back in deep. Carlson tries to get over to Grand. And tries to hit Fuller. Carlson's got some speed going. They're going to throw it in deep. Fuller has it, looking for Grandy. Tries to throw it to the point. Now Runnigan's going to keep it in. She tries to throw it towards the net. That's denied. 4:19 to go here. This one's gone cross ice, picked up by the Warriors. And now chipped into the back wall. Runnigan hits Fuller. She lost the handle. Runnigan did the old flyby maneuver. And now chipped out to the point. Top of the circle shot. And Everhart puts his mitt on it and says, give me a whistle. So the Jacks going to change him up here. 3:56 to go here in the third. Warriors, top of the circle. Back out front. One-timer right into the midsection of Everhart. Great play. Looking for the hat trick was number 21. Warriors win the draw. Another shot. That one might have gone off the crossbar. Another low shot. Everhart says, give me a whistle. Jacks are going to change him up again. Malkowski, Baki, Novak, Swanberg. And that one's going to get called offsides. Ref was right there to watch it. 3:28 to go now. So face off just outside the Bemidji defensive zone. Warriors go back to the D. Now they come cross ice right in front of us here and dump it into the offensive zone. Swanberg's going to throw it up ice. That hits Malkowski. Now she plays it. Getting chased from behind. Malkowski's going to wrap it around the wall. Chased by Baki. Still penalty free here. They could have called a couple, but didn't. That one's going to be kept in by Swanberg. She tees one up. Looked like a knuckleball. Baki missed the handle, and here come the Warriors. 3-on-3. Bit of a toe drag by 18 there, now on the backhand. Swanberg's going to pick it up. She tries to hit Baki. Baki! Oh, just couldn't get the jump around the D. Into the near corner here. Warriors trying to come away with it. Swanberg chases it over to Malkowski. Malkowski into the far corner. Novak tries to center. Baki with a one-timer. Went on net. Warrior goalie says, give me a whistle. 2:01 to go here. Face off to the left of the Warrior goalie. Face off played by Fuller. Over to Winkler. That one's tipped up. Now played by the Warriors. They stretch it cross ice. Goes into the far corner. Runnigan will be the first one there. Now it comes out to the point. Throw it to the back wall again was the Warriors. And now trying to wrap it around a Grand. Winkler trying to get out of the zone. Icing's waved off. Puck's loose right out front. Oh, Fuller had it on her stick. Carlson throws it in on net. Also loose. Now kept in by Winkler. Warriors on the backhand, right in the slot, shot. Everhart got the first one, puck still loose. 51 to go here, less than a minute. Larson on the chase. Again, goals for the Jacks, Larson and George. This one's going to go behind the Jack net. And that one's going to be up ice. 32 to go, icing's waved off. Stretch pass. And offsides was the call.